For much of modern history, retirement represented something powerful, a finish line. People worked for decades believing that one day they would finally reach stability, rest and freedom after years of effort. The idea was simple: work hard, save money, retire peacefully. For generations, this became one of the central promises of modern economic life. But today, that promise feels increasingly uncertain, and millions of people quietly sense it. Many workers no longer look at retirement with confidence. They look at it with anxiety. Some wonder whether they will ever afford to stop working at all. Others fear that even if they save consistently, rising living costs will eventually erase the security they spent decades trying to build. And beneath modern society exists a growing fear many people rarely express openly. What if retirement is becoming unrealistic for ordinary people? Part of the reason is that the economic foundation supporting retirement has fundamentally changed. Living costs continue rising: housing, healthcare, food, insurance, transportation. At the same time, wages often struggle to keep pace with inflation. People work continuously, yet saving meaningful amounts feels increasingly difficult. This creates a dangerous psychological shift. People begin feeling trapped between survival today and fear of the future tomorrow, because retirement requires long-term stability, and modern life increasingly feels unstable. Inflation intensifies this uncertainty further. Money saved over decades slowly loses purchasing power. A retirement target that once seemed safe may no longer feel sufficient years later. And because inflation works gradually rather than dramatically, many people underestimate how deeply it affects long-term financial security. Modern jobs also contribute to this fear. Previous generations often experienced stronger pensions, long-term employment, greater job stability. Today, careers feel more fragile. Layoffs happen suddenly. Industries change rapidly. Technology transforms work constantly. Many workers no longer trust that the systems supporting them today will still exist decades into the future. At the same time, modern work culture became psychologically endless. Technology erased boundaries between work and personal life. Emails follow people home, notifications continue after hours. The mind rarely disconnects fully from productivity. As a result, many people no longer experience work as a temporary phase, leading toward eventual rest. Work begins feeling permanent. Younger generations especially feel this emotionally. Many entered adulthood during periods of rising debt, expensive housing, economic uncertainty, unstable labor markets. And because financial pressure starts early, retirement often feels psychologically distant from the beginning. Some people no longer plan for retirement confidently. They simply hope survival remains manageable long enough. Perhaps this is why burnout feels so widespread today. People are not only exhausted from working, they are exhausted from uncertainty about whether all this effort will ever truly create security. The modern economy also changed how responsibility functions. Retirement planning increasingly falls on individuals themselves. People are expected to invest correctly, save consistently, manage financial risks independently. Yet many live in economies where maintaining ordinary life already consumes most of their income. This creates emotional contradiction. Society still promotes the old promise: work hard and you will eventually rest. But many people increasingly feel work hard just to keep up. And perhaps the most frightening part is this: millions of people no longer fear working difficult jobs. They fear never escaping the need to work at all. This does not mean retirement disappeared completely. Some people still achieve financial security successfully, but psychologically, retirement no longer feels guaranteed in the way it once did for large parts of society. And perhaps that is the quiet truth many people are slowly beginning to realize. Modern life became so economically demanding that even the future itself now feels financially uncertain. Because retirement was never only about money. It represented stability, peace, the belief that years of effort would eventually create safety. And when people stop believing that safety truly exists anymore, something changes deeply inside society. The future itself begins feeling fragile. Perhaps that is why so many people today feel emotionally exhausted, before old age even arrives. Not because they are weak, but because they are carrying the psychological weight of a future that no longer feels secure. And perhaps the saddest part is this. Many people are no longer asking, "When will I retire?" They are asking, "Will retirement even exist for people like me at all?"